It is June 29th of 2026, and this is the Court Gallery. Coming up, Judge Wohl presides over a simple protection order hearing that gets surprisingly personal and sort of insulting. Then a defendant's plea deal hearing goes completely off the rails when she drops an F-bomb and tries to argue with Judge Webster. After that, Judge Elmore delivers 2 stern lectures on addiction and consequences. But finally, a small claims dispute over a used car pushes Judge McNally to his limits, leading him to call the defendant one of the most disrespectful people he's seen on the bench in 32 years. This one gets crazy. I've never seen McNally this mad. And it all starts right now.
The next cases involve Mr. Rothwell as the respondent in both, and then the petitioners are John Hoagland and Kay Owen, and I will just hear those at the same time since they both involve Mr. Rothwell. Mr. Rothwell, would you have a seat up here? Yeah, one of the, at the table right there. There should be a lighted microphone there that'll pick up your voice.
Right here?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Should be a red light on that microphone. Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So these are cases 26-289 and 290. Petitioners are Hoagland and Owen. Respondent in both cases is Rothwell. And in these matters, the court had scheduled a hearing on the petitions. And I assume then, Mr. Rothwell, that you were served with notice of the hearing?
I got it last night about 7:30
Okay, that's kind of short notice.
at the pickleball court.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Are you ready to do this today?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. So let me tell you the way I'll do this, since I'm kind of combining 2 cases. The petitioners will get to go first and present their case, and I'll explain a little bit more about that later. And then Mr. Rothwell, if necessary, can respond to both of those. I'll hear the cases together since they, in reading the petitions, they both apparently involve a lot of the same facts and the same people. I'll hear them together and at the same time, but decide them separately. So each one would have to essentially rise or fall on its own merits. Going to ask when you're presenting your case, to let the other party say whatever it is they're going to say, even if you think they're, telling me something that's inaccurate, not true, whatever. Just remember to let them say their side of it, and then, you're going to get to say your side of it in a few minutes, or you've already told me your side of it, so I know. And then as far as the petitioners go, you filed your petitions in these matters, and then it also appears that you filed some supplemental material after the date the petition was filed. All of that information is in the record and part of the factual basis that the court can use to make findings of fact and conclusions of law. So when you're presenting your case, it's not necessary for you to read those things into the record, so to speak. I mean, they are already in the record as far as that goes, but you can refer me to them as you kind of describe your case. But keep in mind that the court's already aware of the allegations that you've raised, and they're already part of the record and available for the court to use to make a decision. I know you didn't file anything yourself, Mr. Rothwell, but I'll hear from you as well. Okay. All right. So before we start, I'm going to have all 3 parties raise your right hands, please. And do each of you swear the testimony you give in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
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 Very well. All right, then, as between Mr. Hoagland and Ms. Owen, I'll let you decide between yourselves who wants to go first.
Mr. Hoagland, would you like to speak first?
Yes, yes, Your Honor. Exhibit I uploaded opening statements.
I read
Do you want
that.
me to read that for you or?
I have already read it.
Okay, great. Do you want anything further, sir?
If you would like to tell me anything, you can. If you'd like to rely on the pleadings and other information that you filed, you can do that as well.
Yes, Your Honor. We would like the protection order based off the evidence submitted and hearing Mr. Rothwell's side as the evident court decides. Thank you.
Okay, all right. And then Ms. Owen, I'll turn to you and give you the same opportunity.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would also like to move forward with hopefully receiving this protection order. Ultimately, what started out as trying to provide a gentle safety reminder to a member of our community to slow down, with tight blind curves, ended up being a 7 to 10 minute altercation. Where I genuinely feared for my safety. I saw a man that I had never seen before try to push into my 6 foot retired military veteran friend, aggressively trying to come at me. I can't tell you why, but I can tell you that it happened. And you saw the photo taken at 2:32, and I'm sure at 2:38 and 2:39, proving that this was an incident that occurred for several minutes. That's not a reasonable response and reaction. And this protection order would allow me to feel safe in my own community. Since this event occurred, my wife and I have both been hesitant to take walks in our neighborhood because we don't know what this man is capable of. We don't know what is going to set him off and trigger him next. And perhaps having a legal protective order will encourage him to stay away from us and keep his temper in order if any future things like this arise. But, all I can ask is to have a protection order to keep myself and my family safe, given, Rothwell's actions and unpredictability. And I thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Rothwell, in response to both of those, is there anything you'd like to tell
For
me?
sure, I'd like to clarify. Can I ask, first of all, do you have, because I talked with the deputy last night and I got cut off the side. I didn't think anything was going to come of this. It's like I'm in Seaside for most of the week and came back, but the deputy gave me a sequence number. Do you have that with?
That's a law enforcement information code. That probably was something that the deputy gave you so that you could get law enforcement records, but that
So do you have
sequence
any
code
information
isn't
from what he was?
if there was a law enforcement response to this situation, if there was any kind of report written, it's not part of the record in the case.
He even gave me his email, said if there's a problem, we can involve him. It sounds like he came out and they talked, I guess, with him, according to him, outside the gate, and he just simply called me afterwards.
Okay.
Then I did a follow-up conversation with him because I just received this in front of people at the pickleball court yesterday. Since I heard about Mr. Hoagman and what he's all about, I just want to briefly say I just turned 70 that weekend. I've got 2 knee replacements. Retired teacher, was teaching for 40 some years and coach and first responder out at Elmore. That I don't have anything on my record. Not even if I asked the detective if I had anything, even for traffic violation, I'm driving a lot. There's nothing. What this actually was a back and forth. If I had it all over again, I would have ignored what she said and would have just kept on going. I was after church. Pastor's here. I was after church. I was going to go down there and do a little workout, go to the pool. And I traveled less than a football field, less than 100 yards from my place to where the stop sign was, over a speed bump, stopped, went around, and they were walking on the driving side of the road, 4 of them, not single file. So I went around to the left side and heard her yell something. I thought I heard what she said. So I stopped and rolled my windows down and asked what she had said. She repeated it about going too fast, and she used something else I didn't want to hear. Should have ignored it. But I stopped the vehicle. I had the left front and back tire off the pavement because of how far I had to go around. There's walking. A lady named Patty has it cleared out for walking. You know, if you go single file by her place, wasn't used, nor was the dog area, grassy areas on the other side. That wasn't being used. So I wanted to just clarify I want to mention two things. And so I was loud as she was loud and addressed two issues. One was that I was going under 10 miles an hour. We want that there because of grandkids and what have you coming in. A lot of speed bumps over there at this Lost Lake Resort. That I wasn't going fast. And two, I addressed where they were walking loud. There was no punching, swinging, running, any of that kind of stuff. John put his arm out in front of me. And after she said something about the stop sign, which they weren't even there yet, because it's called Maple Lane and you go around, there's probably, there's tiny homes there. So there's one tiny home length from Maple Lane to Oak. What was I going to say about that? But anyway, once she said something about the stop sign, I said it was going to, and loud, it was going to be pointless. So I got back in my vehicle and I went down to the workout, the gym and the pool area that we have. Again, if I had it all over again, I would have just let it go in one ear out and out the other, like I've advised my sons and daughters to do when they're out on the road. When they say 10 minutes, in my opinion, this was less than a minute because again, I got out, let them know about two things. And, you know, she yelled what she did to me and she said it more than twice. We had Patty lives right there with her place. And then across the street is Dean and Katie. No one came out. It didn't last that long. So I had not seen these people before. I've been in there for half a dozen years. My son's renting the tiny home that we have there. So I come back on weekends. I had never seen them before. I don't think they've been there very long. Never met them. I haven't seen them since. So it's a one-time thing. Short period of time. I think it was about a minute's worth.
Thank you, Mr. Rothwell.
And I have one more thing. I have one board member of the 5 asked to me to email because he had heard from them, but hadn't heard from me because again, I was in Seaside after this. And so Secretary Mitch Johnson has, you know, if there's going to be like a decision not made, I mean, it'd be nice if he was contacted, I suppose, probably can't happen, or the deputy that was involved with it.
Okay. All right. This case, I should say these cases came into court with the petitioners. And at the time the court heard these matters, ex parte, which means with only one party present. And Mr. Rothwell, that means without you present with the other parties present. And at that time, Judge Wilcox determined that the matter should be set for hearing, but that there was not a basis to issue a temporary emergency order. Now, having reviewed the pleadings myself and the the supplemental material that was submitted in support of the request for an order and hearing the testimony of Mr. Rothwell, there is no basis to issue an anti-harassment order in either case. The situation doesn't fit the definition of harassment or a course of conduct. There is an exception in the law for a course of conduct requiring more than a single act. So in the event a single act is going to provide a basis to issue an order, it has to be a malicious harassment threat, which this is not, or it has to involve the presence of a firearm or a weapon. So this was a single act. It was also a confrontation over potentially reckless driving. It doesn't appear that there was any harassment or course of conduct that was designed to seriously annoy or alarm the petitioners. And in that situation, a reasonable person would take it that way and not as a course of conduct that was designed to substantially cause emotional distress. So I'm going to deny the petitions in both cases because the petitions, even taken at face value and with all indulgences in favor of the petitioners, it still doesn't meet the statutory definition of unlawful harassment. So the petitions in each case will be denied.
Your Honor, exhibits K, L, M, N, O exhibit that this was more than a minute, proceeding closer to at least 10 minutes, as the defendant was close to his car after majority of the altercation. This indicates this was not a snap decision. It was a decision that required multiple steps to get to this level of assault. And the defendant's pursuit of Kay Owens trying to get through me indicates that this defendant has quite the mental issues and he needs to get those taken care of. It's a logical thing to conclude that if he's going to react to being asked to slow down, that he's going to react even stronger now that we filed a petition against him.
Follow up with something.
No.
If
No,
I may also
You all
add,
have to, no, keep in mind, I've heard your petition, I've read your pleadings, I've heard your testimony, I've heard the testimony of both sides, and I've made a decision. Okay, that there's no further opportunity to argue this. The decision is made. It's a final decision of the court, and if you feel like it's in error for any reason, you may have rights to appeal that to a higher court. But that my ruling is not an invitation for further argument. It is a final hearing, and I'm simply recording on paper orders that reflect that ruling. That ruling is made.
understood, Your Honor. Thank you. Question regarding the appeal process. Will we receive that information following this hearing, sir?
There's no specific advisement about that. You may want to seek legal advice if you're interested in appealing.
Okay, thank you.
Right, I've issued written orders denying the petitions in both cases. Those are being filed now with the court clerk, and they will be available to the parties at any time. All right, that will conclude these hearings for today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have offered for apologizing both with a board member and they've refused.
To be
So-
clear, he did not, he reached out to a board member.
We are on the record in BU 2026 CR 24, State of Kansas versus Stephanie Rayanne Wampler. Please announce appearances.
Joseph Baca, appearing for the state of Kansas.
Darren Patterson, Your Honor, appearing on behalf of Stephanie Wampler. Ms. Wampler does appear personally via Zoom audiovisual. And Judge, I apologize as I look at this closer. This may be a case we could resolve if I have a breakout room with Ms. Wampler.
Back on the record in BU 2025 CR 228, Joseph Baca appearing for the state, Darren Patterson for the defendant, who also appears in person. Mr. Patterson was I'm sorry, I think I said the case wrong. It's BU 2026 CR 24 State versus Stephanie Renee Wampler, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
With Darren Patterson for the defendant appearing in person and Mr. Baca for the state. Was Ms. Wampler on our pretrial for jury trials this past week, Mr. Patterson?
She was, and we've set it over to work out a plea bargain.
All right, and have you gotten a bargain reached?
And on that note, Judge, I would just tell the court that It was on one of the dockets, but it was just set for status. It wasn't actually set for jury trial. It just got put on there for some reason.
Ah, yeah, sometimes that happens.
Yes.
All right, so what is the plea agreement?
Your Honor, I would announce at this time, Ms. Wampler will be entering plea of guilty to count 2, no valid driver's license, and count 3, transport on container. States agreed to dismiss count 1.
Mr. Bach, is that right? If she pleads to 2 and 3, domestic battery count 1 is dismissed.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Miss Wampler, how then do you plead to count 2, operating a motor vehicle without a valid license?
Guilty.
And how do you plead to count 3, transporting an open container of alcohol?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty because you believe you were in fact guilty of these 2 charges?
Yes.
Is anyone making you enter these pleas of guilty by any threats or promises other than your plea agreement?
No.
Do you understand that with these pleas of guilty, admitting the charges, you're giving up your right to a trial?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that you will most likely be found guilty of each of these charges and unable to appeal conviction?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And in your own words, what did you do that makes you guilty of operating a motor vehicle without a license and transporting an open container?
My driver's license was expired. And my boyfriend had a bottle of vodka in the vehicle
Where did he have it?
because he was drunk. It was
Okay.
under his seat.
And did you know he had it under his seat?
I knew he had it somewhere.
Okay. And you knew he drunk part of it so that it was open?
Yes, ma'am.
You said he had drunk enough to be drunk?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And what highway were you on when the officers found the open container and found you driving without a license?
I believe it's 54-400 between Augusta and Andover. No, I was between Augusta. Yeah, I was heading back to Wichita from Augusta.
Okay, I know that highway well. You are within the county limits, or you were. I accept your plea as freely and voluntarily given with factual basis to it. I find you guilty. And recommendations for sentencing on counts 2 and 3 that I find the defendant guilty of. Count 1 being dismissed per plea agreement on motion of the state.
Yes, Your Honor. And Your Honor, I believe these will be joint recommendations. In regards to, there's not going to be a recommendation for a fine on either count. In regards to count 2, recommending a controlling jail sentence of 6 months. In regards to count 3, recommend a 30-day controlling jail sentence. Those counts to run consecutive. Going to be recommending 12 months reporting probation with all the standard conditions. As far as special conditions, recommending defendant obtain a drug and alcohol evaluation and follow recommendations. Defendant complete an anger management class. Also request no contact with the victim, pay court costs, determine attorney's fees, and finally, Your Honor, there is electronic monitoring costs in the amount of $1,164. We'd request, I believe that's payable to the 13th Judicial District.
Okay, tell me that amount again, please. 1,000.
164.
I have been making payments on that also. I've been making monthly payments on that.
All right, we'll take that into consideration. And you said that goes to what
I
entity?
believe since they do, the clerks do like to have our journal entries contain who it's payable to. That should be just payable to the 13th district.
It was the 13th Judicial District EMD.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, please confirm whoever should be getting that check and put it in your journal entry, Mr. Baca. Maybe you've already done that. All right, tell me where you work. Oh, Mr. Patterson, anything further?
Judge, on that issue, I did receive an email this morning at 8:44 a.m. from Adam Nold of the electronic monitoring. Went to Amber as well as her assistant Lisa. And in that email from Adam, he states the remaining balance is 1,164.
And does he say that it goes to the 13th Judicial District?
13th Judicial District Electronic Monitoring Program, yeah, something like that.
So we do need to make sure that it goes to that department as opposed to some other.
I've made the payments physically there because they've had to
All right,
do
but I still,
stuff.
hold on. I still need to make some orders, so. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
all right,
Judge,
so,
in addition to what the state has requested, we would also ask that the court order that if she has already accomplished a drug and alcohol evaluation and treatment and anger management recently, that she provide proof of that to the probation officer, that they be allowed to review it to determine if it suffices or not. She tells me she has, and just don't want to redo everything. She's tight on money. Further, we'd ask the court to allow it to be transferred to Sedgwick County for courtesy supervision if it can be transferred. Nothing further.
okay, thank you. So you live in Sedgwick County?
Yes, ma'am. I live in Wichita.
Do you work in Wichita?
I'm not working right now.
Why are you not working?
I've had I've been through a lot the last few years. I've been homeless and working through a lot of things. And I mean, I just went through treatment, drug and alcohol. And so I'm coming out the other side,
Well, who supports you then if you don't have a job? How do you live?
My mom has been really helping me. She's kind of going through a lot, so I've been helping her. I've taken over a property that was a rental that she didn't want to deal with anymore, so I have a place to live now at least. So it's just all kind of coming together, and this is just
All right, so you have a place to live and you don't have to pay rent or utilities?
for now. For
Okay.
now.
And does she pay for your food too?
I go to food pantries and I do a lot to be able to get my own food and things like that. I go to the Lord's Diner food truck, things like that. Yeah.
You think you ever will get a job? A paying job?
I
Traditional
would
job.
love to be making an income, in some type of way. Yes, ma'am. But owning my own business in some type of way is what I would hope to do.
Well, I usually expect you to get a job and maintain that job on probation. Yeah, I won't give you any, let's see.
I do have pretty significant health issues. In this last year, I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. I went into AFib. I've spent probably a month in the hospital in the last year. So I would say I'm not opposed to getting a job, but it's not realistic at this moment right now. I'm just kind of trying to get everything settled.
Well, I'll leave that between you and your doctor, whether it's realistic or not. I've had family members and friends that have still maintained some pretty significant jobs with those conditions. So I don't know when you can't work with it, when you can't. So, but I'll take that into consideration, whatever your medical doctor says. Like I said, I know some people that work pretty darn hard jobs with that, to the best of their ability anyway. All right, at this time on count two, operating a motor vehicle without a valid license, no fine, but 6 months in the county jail. Count 3, transporting an open container. I was thinking there was a minimum fine on that. No, it's just up to a certain amount, $200, is it? All right, no fine. Just a moment. Yeah, not more than $200 in fine. The recommendation is no fine. I won't order a fine. The jail sentence can be up to 6 months. The recommendation has been for 30 days. That will be 30 days, but it's consecutive to count 1. So if you have to serve your time in jail, you can serve 6 months, and then when that's up, you start another 30 days, for a total of 7 months. And that should be a lot of rest where you won't have to deal with the other issues with your heart. Would you rather do that, or would you rather do 7 months in jail, or would you rather have probation?
I already agreed to probation, ma'am.
Well, you're not the judge, I'm sorry.
I mean,
You
I
agreed
thought
to
you
a
asked
recommend.
me.
I don't think.
I am asking you. I haven't made my decision. I'm the one that decides what you do. Your attorneys have told me what your recommendation was for 6 months plus 30 days. But you understand that that is a recommendation. I'm still the judge. I still have the duty to determine if that's appropriate for you or not. And if you can't work and you have all these health issues that you do, maybe you would rather just sit in jail and rest for that period of time and not have to worry about probation.
Ma'am, I have children.
I'm just asking you
I
a
need
simple
to be with my
question.
kids. Their dad is getting evicted right now. They need to be with me. What are you saying to me?
First of all, I'm telling you, I'm the judge.
You have
You're not
every
the
right to
judge.
throw me in jail. It is totally up to you if you want to put me in jail, but you would damage my fucking family, ma'am. Sorry, no, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to cuss. But what you're saying right now would destroy my family. Why are you saying this to me?
You've told me.
I know I don't want to be in jail. I need to be with my family.
That's
I will
all
take
asked.
whatever you choose
Stop,
to do.
ma'am, please stop and listen to me. I'm trying to work with you here. You've told me you can't maintain employment, which is normally a standard condition of probation. You told me you couldn't do that. You have this heart condition. Okay. Well, so I said, rather than worry about the conditions of probation, would you rather just take the time, sit in jail and rest, and not worry about probation, or do you want to try to do the probation? I asked you a question and you started lecturing me, which I didn't need. What am I saying to you?
Ma'am, I will do whatever I need to do to be out of jail. I will do whatever you need me to do. Whatever probation requires of me.
All right. And you think you can do that with your doctor's advice? I mean, I want your doctor to weigh in on this. I don't want you to make you do something that your health would be in jeopardy. But if you prefer probation over jail, and I'm hearing, that's what I'm hearing. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I will take probation over jail.
All right. Probation is going to be for 1 year, and it's going to be reporting probation. So after this hearing, you'll need to walk down to the probation and sign up. You will have all standard conditions. Unless your doctor tells me you can't do all the standard conditions, you'll have a list of standard conditions and probation will go over them. One of them is that you obtain and maintain some type of reasonable employment during the period of probation. You have to have some income to pay. You're not going to have to pay fines, but you are going to have to pay some costs. One of them will be court costs of about 158, I believe that is. It's either 158 or 108. The clerk will tell you exactly how much. And I'll waive your attorney fees. I'm waiving your fines, but you're going to have to do something to come up with $158. I don't want your mother doing it. She's reportedly giving you a free house and free utilities, and you're getting free food from various sources around town. I don't want you going out and having anybody else. Find a way to pay that court cost. You've got a year to pay it. I'm going to order that you pay a 12th each month. So that's not going to be much each month, but a little bit each month. First payment will be due in 30 days, July 29th of 2026. And then you'll pay a 12th each month thereafter on the 29th day. But you're also going to have to do this anger management class. Apparently, that's what the parties agreed to in exchange for the domestic battery dismissal.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're going to have no contact with this person that was alleged the victim in count 1.
Yes, ma'am.
Gregory Sprague II, you're going to have no contact with him. How's he related to you, if at all?
Yes, ma'am. He's my ex. He's in jail right now, actually, in Sedgwick County. Because
What did he
of,
allegedly do?
ma'am, what does that have to do with right now, please?
You want to just switch? You want me to just go have them go get your robe and let you take over? Is that what you're wanting? You have continued to want to tell me what to do, how to do it, and now you're questioning me. Do you want a robe? Do you think I'm going to let you really take over? I'm not.
No, ma'am.
Now, but I'm trying to show you that you're not in charge. You're not going to ever succeed on probation if you go down and start talking to a probation officer the way you're talking to the court today, because they are going to be in charge of your probation, not you. Maybe you just need a good, healthy dose of anger management. So in general, so you learn to deal with things that you don't like to hear. But this is not acceptable. This hearing should have been over by now. I should have told you what to do. You should have done it. Now, this guy is your ex. You don't want to tell me what he's in charge, or what he's on bond, or whatever he's charged with in Wichita. I don't know why you're questioning that, but does he have any children with you?
No. No, ma'am.
You're not legally married anymore. Was he ever married?
I have a PFA filed against him right now, ma'am. So no, I'm not going to have any contact with him. Thank you.
All right. So he's your ex. You have a PFA in which county?
In Sedgwick County, ma'am.
And you live in Sedgwick County, you said earlier.
Yes, he was living with me. He got arrested from my house and he cannot come back to my house. That is what's happening right now. I will not have contact with him. You do not have to worry about that.
Well, I just feel like you're not very forthcoming. And I have a feeling you're not going to be very successful on probation. That's why I wonder if I should even give it. Because probation is for people that see it as a privilege and they want to succeed and they don't want to go to jail. And you're just...
I don't feel like anything I say is going to matter to you right now, but just please, I would appreciate probation, ma'am, and I will make it happen and I will prove you wrong.
Well, it's not going to be on your terms.
I'm not asking for it to be. I don't need it to be. I'll do what I need to do to make it happen, just to prove you wrong. So watch me, ma'am.
Well, maybe we need a psychological evaluation. I almost hear a little oppositional defiance. I have to prove you wrong. I don't want you to do the right thing.
May I have another tissue, please?
I'm tired of arguing with you. I'm about ready to just tell them to take you to jail, and I'm not going to keep arguing with you. If you can do what you're told and not argue back with me anymore, I'm going to put you on probation, but you're going to have to go down the hall and talk to your probation officer in a totally different tone than what you're doing with me, because they will be in charge. You must respect them as long as they're your probation officer, and you're going to do what they told you. So I'm going to let you, I've waived a lot of costs for you to take into consideration your financial situation and your health. You will be responsible for drug and alcohol evaluation. If you've had one done recently, provide proof to court services Sign any and all releases between any providers you're getting and court services so they can freely exchange information and see how you're really doing. You're going to take routine and regular alcohol and drug evaluation or drug and alcohol urine testing or breath testing as they see necessary. You are to have no alcohol and no illegal drugs during this period. You're to stay away from Gregory Sprague II in all ways. No indirect, no internet, no social media, any of that. You will pay the 13th Judicial District Electronic Monitoring Program $1,164. Apparently you cut off an ankle monitor or destroyed their property in some way, and yet you've got the charge dismissed for battery, but you're going to pay that. I don't know what that's for, but you agreed to it. Now you don't want to pay the EMD. Am I looking at the wrong line again? Do my eyes go? Is she not the one that had the, she is.
Yeah, she's on the MD, Judge, for Scram.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, why, I don't know why she's looking so shocked. And you recommended $1,164 to Butler County EMD. Is that just because she wasn't paying the bill on it?
That is the current bill, Judge, from the email I got this morning.
All right, so you didn't apparently cut it off, you just didn't pay the bill.
I have been making payments as arranged with the company. I have been talking to him regularly. In fact, I'm going to be stopping by there after I leave here. I've been making payments and doing what I need to do through him. And he will let you know too if you ask his opinion.
So it's the EMD's opinion that you not pay restitution, that I not ordered that. Is that what you just said?
I don't know about restitution. I'm making payments on the monitor that is on me right now. That's what that bill is.
Mr. Patterson, Mr. Baca, was that an agreement or not? Does she pay it or does she not?
It was a bond condition, Judge, that she be on it, and that's the fees then that they have generated. And the email this morning just says what's left for her to pay.
You agree with that, ma'am? That you have not paid everything you need to, that you still owe them $1,164?
I can show you the text messages with Adam that he has said making $50 payments a month is okay as long as I don't go past 90 days of not making a payment. He said, as long as I keep talking to him and let him know what's going on, because he's working with me, I understand that I have to pay this. I understand that. I'm not trying to get away from that. I'm making payments on it as best as I can.
Counsel, what does that mean?
Judge, I think under the statute, it just needs to be made a judgment in the case and then make part of the case that she pays.
Well, that's what I was prepared to do, but I think she's telling me she doesn't have to pay that or something. I don't get what she's arguing about.
Judge, I apologize, but I think you guys are almost talking past each other almost. I think what she
I
is.
would agree with that.
What she is saying is that she knows she still owes money. I don't think she knows exactly how much she owes because she's been making payments and paying it down. She just has not been confirmed with her the exact amount she still owes. But whatever that amount is, she's agreed that she owes it and will pay it.
Is that what you're saying, ma'am?
I feel like you're asking me to pay all this right now. I'm sorry. That's what it feels like to me. But I understand. Yes, I owe this. I will pay this. $1,164.
That's what I'm ordering. And my intention was to order that you pay at the rate of 1/12 a month. But if he's only requiring 50, that's half of what I would have ordered. I waived court costs or fines for you. I waived attorney fees for you. Even waiving that though, can you pay more than 50 a month? Well, where are you getting the 50 a month if you don't have any income?
I do work. Like I said, I do actually physically work for my mom. I physically work on the building that we own. And I also fill in for my sister at her job where she cleans. And so I help clean with her and make $100 a day cleaning there with her every once in a while.
$100 a day, but that's not consistent.
Correct.
Mr. Patterson, what do you want me to order on this? Because you're right, we're not communicating. She and I are not communicating.
Judge, I think a lot of this she can just talk with her probation officer about and get straightened out with them, that she will make payments and she will report and do the things the court is ordering. And we'll get it in a court order, written court order, to where it's straightforward what it is. So I think we just send her down there. We ought to, that'd be sufficient, Judge, in my opinion. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Baca, you're okay with that? Just putting the amount she owes and let probation figure it out with her?
Yes, Judge, the state would be fine with that.
All right, well, that's what I'll do, but I hope I'm not setting probation up for the same issues I've had trying to communicate here. All right, that is the order. Anything else we need to address? Probation, 12 months reporting, starting today. Everything else I've said?
I think the state is fine, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Miss Wampler, go to probation right now
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
and do well so we don't have to come back and meet again like this on a revocation.
Yes,
Thank you.
ma'am.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, counsel, who do you want to take up next?
Judge, before we move on, would the court allow a breakout room with Your Honor and Mr. Baca and me?
Sure.
It's about certain cases.
Okay. Jennifer, could you put us in the breakout room, Mr. Baca, Mr. Patterson, myself? Look at that.
We're back on the record. This time we're taking up the case of People of the State of Michigan versus James Edward Barb III. Case number today is 26-14227 FH. Appearances from counsel, please.
On behalf of the people. And I'm Jeff Harris. I'm here on behalf of Mr. Fargan, who's joined me at the table.
Also before the court this morning is Mr. Stephen Saladay. He is the agent from the Department of Corrections who has prepared today's pre-sentence investigation report. And we are here today for a Tantrum in this case. Actually, two files. The other file is 26-142238 FH. All right. Pleas were both entered and accepted on the record on May 28th of this year. Each file included a conviction for possession of controlled substance, methamphetamine. The court has received pre-sentence investigation reports. Look through it. I don't notice any corrections that I caught. Let's turn it over to the people. Mr. Khan?
No corrections are there.
The ball has been successfully knocked over the net. Mr. Harrison?
Please indulge me for a brief moment, Your Honor. I have had some trouble inside. I don't recall there being any corrections necessary, but I want to be certain you did.
I will continue to indulge you.
Yeah. Okay. I don't believe there are any corrections. Let me briefly check my notes. I'm sorry, Your Honor, it was in a different location than usual.
Just how people like me tolerate people like you. Just kidding. You're fine.
Let's first Bueller again.
I did.
My notes do not indicate that there is any need for physical changes.
Thank you. The ball is back. We're going to hit it back over the court. Mr. Carnes, what you got?
Thank you, Your Honor. I am asking the court to follow the recommendation here. It is kind of high, but then I went through this conviction history, and I see a lot of red flags, starting with offense 4. Tested positive on bond for that, failed to appear to prelim, failed to appear to testing. So several failed to appear to ones. That's problematic. And then we have this offense in Findlay, Ohio, committed while on bond. Warrant is still active, so he has a pending warrant in Ohio. Moving on, while he's still on bond for that offense, picks up another possession here. Probation violations with an ultimate probation being terminated. And 7 is our driving misdemeanors, but again, if it failed to appear, that suggests he's not a good candidate for probation. While on district court probation and while still on that bond in the Ohio, except another possession. Here, again, the probation terminated successfully. And then this offense was committed while on parole. Problematic, and then file, I think it's the file ending in 3-8. He was lying to the police about his identity. Again, just shows he's not a good candidate for probation. So I asked the court to call his recommendation here. Thank you.
Mr. Harrison.
If his past record shows us anything, it shows a cycle. James has been living with addiction for most of his adult life. He gets caught, he goes to jail. Occasionally he goes and completes successfully a rehabilitation program, as he did recently in one of the cases here at the behest of the MDOC. Invariably, he has difficulty staying sober. He relapses and falls back into the same eternal cycle. So the answer proposed by the department here is lock him up for 3 years. His guidelines 19 to 38, and that recommendation is certainly well within the et cetera, et cetera. I don't know that what happened here warrants that long a term in prison. He's been to prison before. He's been to jail before. He's been to rehab before. This isn't a person who needs further incarceration. This is a person who needs help. He needs more help, apparently, than a singular rehab can give him. What he probably needs more like is intensive treatment along with enforced sober living with the curfew and that sort of thing. I don't know what the answer is. And unfortunately, neither does Mr. Farby. But I do know that the old lock him up and throw away the key mentality is not going to serve any constructive purpose here. And that's okay, I guess, if you look at it from the perspective that, look, nothing we've tried worked, so this is just the only thing we have left. I think this is a case where the pattern is so obvious and the addiction is so overwhelming that it warrants a second look at what we can provide to him as a society, quite frankly. He's not here asking for mercy. He's not here asking for leniency. We're here asking for assistance in trying to resolve this issue in his life. It's estranged him from all of his friends. It's estranged him from his family in a lot of ways, although 2 family members are here today. And continually exposes him to jail and prison terms. So he's not going to sit here and tell you that methamphetamine is his friend. It certainly is not. It's certainly done what it can to ruin his life. I would simply ask that the court take a much broader view of the circumstances and fashion a sentence in accordance therewith. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Farby, you have the right to make a statement if you choose. Is there anything you wish to say today?
Better person, my own myself, and everybody wants to. That time get that class my case. Stay, sometimes take a step back, you make a bigger step forward.
All right. Well, you're 38 years of age. Silly 20 years younger than I am. And you have been using substances for a long time. One moment here. You've been using marijuana and alcohol since before you were 10. That makes you the poster child of don't use marijuana and alcohol. Your brain will probably never function correctly because that's the life that you've been leading. And for the last 6 years, it has added to it methamphetamine on a near daily basis. Yeah, age of 6 when you started doing marijuana. Gosh, I don't even know what to tell you.
Good.
Yeah. Well, hey, well, let's take a look here. You have been on bond sometimes and have failed to comply with bond. You've got a warrant out of Ohio. Have been on probation and parole multiple times. And you failed there. Now it looks like you got maybe, yeah, no, you violated your probation and parole. I don't see any history here. Oh wait, I take that back. And you did DeKoski Hall last year twice. And you had gotten out of DeKoski Hall on November 25th. And you made it 4 months. Here you were found in the backseat of a vehicle after a traffic stop as a backseat passenger hiding under a blanket. And you had a container with the controlled substances. And you had scales, at least that was the first one. Then you made it 4 months before you were found to be in possession of more. Right. This is a cycle by definition because it keeps repeating itself. Not our cycle, not my cycle, it's not anybody else, it's your cycle. So, and it's not a matter of the court locking you up and throwing away the key. You have the key. Kind of remind me of Otis from the old Andy Griffith show. You just keep coming and going. It's your choice, no one else's. You've been to rehab. And when you needed help, you didn't get it, you went right back to the meth. Right back to the people that you probably shouldn't be hanging out with. So it's not the court, not the government locking you up and throwing away the key. It's the court and the state and the people giving you opportunities that you just thwart. I want to look at one more thing. There is no employment history here. 38 years old. You've got no employment history. I don't know how you get money for the meth. You're not doing anything. You're moping. You're coming out, going right back to it, taking whatever the courts give you. Probation. Give up on it. Jail. You get out, go right back to it. Prison. You get out, go right back to it. You do get a couple stints in Tchaikovsky, and you throw those away. And then you go right back to the pipe. You never go out and get a job. You don't do anything. You've done nothing to help yourself. You're not productive. And that mopiness I see on you, I think, tells me everything I need to know about you. So, I don't know what else to do with you. At least in the prison, you get 3 hots and a cock. And maybe you get rehab. Yet again. So, if you don't want to take advantage of anything, and you don't want to go get yourself help, there's no reason I'm going to do it. You got 2 cases here back to back. All right. Well, sentence of the court in each file, Madam Clerk, is a $68 state minimum fee, a $130 prime victims' right fund fee. And I always go back and forth here about what to do in fines and costs. And I can tell you that every judge meeting I go to, we often joke about it or talk about it and wonder what do we do. But it's, I don't know. I'm not going to give any fines, any costs, any attorney fees. You don't have a job. It doesn't look like you've ever had. So if I can't give those to you, you're not going to pay them. So what do? Do I give you 3 years? I don't know. The guideline ranges here are presumptive prison cells. I find based upon everything I've discussed, it's my sentence here will be reasonable and proportionate. You don't learn and you just keep doing it. And if you're just going to keep doing it and you're going to give up on yourself, I don't know why the heck the court should ever do anything else. I really hope that changes though. I really hope somewhere in there you start realizing, yeah, I'm going to die before I'm 50. I'm going to miss out on lives of people who care about me and come to court. And I'm just going to keep doing what I want to do. The court sentenced the defendant in these 2 files to a prison term of 24 to 120 months. The defendant does not receive any jail credit. He's still serving. He's on that parole. Is that what it is? Yeah. The sentences here run concurrent in these 2 files to each other, but consecutive to any parole sentence for which he's serving on parole. If I had a magic program here downtown in Cadillac or anywhere here in Wexford County to send you, I'd do it. But we don't. So there you go. That's the sentence of the court. Have I missed anything, Mr. Saladin? Mr. Carnes? No, you're. All right, Mr. Harrison's going to bring you 2 copies of 1 document for each file. On each one of the for each file, you're going to place your initials. Doing so neither elects nor waives any rights. It merely acknowledges your receipt of the other copy Now, these documents tell you in each instance that you have the right to appeal the convictions and sentences in your cases. Based upon the pleas in this case, any appeal must be done by filing an application for leave to appeal. If you choose to file an application for leave to appeal and you want the court to appoint an attorney to assist you, you may complete the bottom half of the document and return to court within 42 days. If you choose not to appeal, you may simply dispose of your copy of the document. I don't hear anything that you've done even while you've been in the jail. I'm really sorry, and I know my tone of voice today is very down. Well, it's because on this one, if you can't think of anything else to say, I can't. We're adjourned. Our next file this morning is People of the State of Michigan versus William McNally. The file number is 25-14058FH. Thank you. All right, I'm going to turn to the people first. Mr. Carnes, any allocution today?
Your Honor, it certainly appears that Mr. Manatee is a good candidate for supervision at this time, as he's racking up more crimes while he's incarcerated on previous conviction by litigants. It seems to me that a prison term would be appropriate here. That would require me to do math. I know it's a 2-year max that he pled guilty to. And I know there's some across the court. Additional time, not just the same sentence. Termination of the and the underlying offense where stolen vehicle belonging to someone who's here just trying to help them out of it. Thank you.
Mr. Harrington.
This report is kind of difficult to read, not just because it's a slightly different format than a lot of the PSIs I've seen, but the story it portrays is convoluted as well, and complicated by the fact that there have been these multiple layers of whatever's been going on. This happened in April in the jail. The jail has not seen fit to even withdraw his good time as a sanction for what occurred in the jail. I don't know why. Maybe there's a good reason why they haven't elected to even take that sort of administrative action here. Then we get into the actual courtroom, and there's talk of perhaps sending him to prison, and I just don't think that's proportionate based on the reaction of the jail staff and based on this was a heated argument to the extent that Mr. Manatee had to be tased to end it with Mr. McConnell Comer in jail. He's 20 years old, Your Honor, and has already amassed a criminal record, including his juvenile portion of it. That would befit an individual of a much more aged variety. You can see the pattern, the last two violations that he's had were essentially him trying to be a tough guy, him trying to tell the policeman at the tribal casino that he didn't have any jurisdiction over him, and him taking the matter of whatever his beef was with the other inmate in the jail into his own hands. Again, this is a 20-year-old person who, in one way or another, has been fighting for himself since he was about 11 years old. He does and could benefit from counseling, things like that. just basic life skills that we take for granted. Those were never imparted to him. What he has known in his short adult life is how to get by, using his wits and on occasion using his fists. I don't see any disproportionality or any, he hasn't learned a lesson type argument here based on the recommendation of him serving out the remainder of his county year. That's due to expire in September, October, I'm not sure. I think it's September 12th. In a sense, writing out of jail and returning him to society. He's 20 years old. He's got ample opportunities in front of him. He knows that. He doesn't like going to jail, believe it or not. It doesn't necessarily scare him the way you would hope it would scare a normal 20-year-old. But there are things he'd much rather be doing, not the least of which is getting a job and earning some of his own money for a change. I would like to see him get that opportunity. We're not asking you to give him no sanction. We're not asking you to let him off the hook. We're just asking you to give him a sentence in accordance with what actually occurred here. And to that extent, we don't really know. What we do know is that it was handled by jail staff and it's over as far as they're concerned. I would have the court adopt a similar thought process here. Thank you.
Mr. Steffleton, is he boot camp eligible?
Yes, he would be, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Mansky, is anything you wish to say?
Yes, not to make any excuses about why I'm here today. Whatever you accept out or whatever you decide today, I accept it. But if you look at my past, obviously hasn't been very great. These past few months, when I got out of jail last year in October, I went to live with my dad. I got out October 8th and I had a job by the 18th, working at Lear. I drank. I was sober from everything else, but I drank quite a bit actually. I was working at Lear Corporation in Farwell. And didn't miss no reports, didn't fail no drug tests. I had a little mishap at the casino. You already know. I came here to the court. Got pushed it back. I got a letter in the mail saying I had court on I believe the 10th. I got it on the morning of the 9th. I got it on the morning of the 10th. And as soon as I got it, realized I was late. I didn't get no emails or phone calls. I called my PO. I called the courts, called Mr. Harrison. Asked what I should do. They said turn myself in, and that is exactly what I did. I informed my job that I would be gone for maybe 30 days. I came up, turned myself into the jail. And because of my behavior over Zoom, I got more in the recommendation, which was 30 days. I got 365 days. But I just like to say, a lot of times I'm in this room or in other courtrooms, the prosecutor likes to point out my past quite a bit. And if you look at my actions these past couple months since I got out of jail, I've never turned myself in once ever in the past. I've never held a job. I always abscond from probation right away. And I made quite a big effort. I came to turn myself in even, which I've never done. I got longer than that, which I understand. I didn't have any couth in over Zoom court. And I apologize for that, but I would just like you to keep that in mind today before we make a decision. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Well, that's the best I've ever heard you talk, speak. You're the only one who can fight for yourself. I know you had some problems here with your biological parents. Obviously, I'm familiar with your brother. He's been in and out of the court a little bit. Very deceptive. And when I look here, at your history of a lot of deception, a lot of theft, tampering with electronic monitoring devices, and deception, lying, stealing is your pattern. Looks like you had a chance with a grandmother, but you told that and left. So it's, yeah, I know prosecutors talk a lot about your history because the history is important to try to determine where you are going. At a young age, you began using alcohol and marijuana at the age of 13. That is the first step to going to nowhere. Then you added methamphetamine into it when you were 15. That's step number 2. Next, you didn't finish high school. That's never a good sign. And work history is pretty bad. You quit one job at Michigan Rubber, got arrested, lost another job. And I'm glad to hear that you had a job here. Hey, as a father of 3, always difficult. Each one of them they're responding to different things growing up. 24 years in the Army, and I know exactly how to respond to or how they would respond to kids with the struggles. We have the front lean and rest in the push-up position for an hour till your arms quit. But then we'd make you go out and run carrying a 30-pound bag and boots just so you couldn't walk anymore. And then the next day, you'd start all over. That's what I think you need. You need somebody to give you some kind of direction. Somebody to keep your tail end when you're crawling on the ground. Because while you may not be in the dirt yet, you are figuratively in the dirt. So, theft, repetitive acts, getting yourself in trouble, never following direction. All right, so the defendant has 247 days of predicate. We just a moment. The court recognizes that based upon the multiple probation violations that include both technicals and non-technicals, the court is not prohibited by law that would not allow it to revoke probation. Therefore, the court revokes probation, preserves all fines and costs, and keeping in mind with the 2/3 rule, the court sentences the defendant, and everyone pay attention, to a prison term of 16 to 24 months with 247 days of credit. Now let me explain why it should work out. Okay, it should work out to about, hopefully, less than 3 to 4 months. If you get your good conduct time, which should be about an additional 40 days, yes, that'll give you 287 days of credit. Then the boot camp program, which I will approve if you apply for it. That's a 90-day program, 3 months. If you get to the prison and apply for it right away, I will approve it immediately. Right? So you look at it, and you're saying, well, Judge Elmore just kind of in effect gave me about a 9.5 month sentence, but I told you 16 months. It could end up being a 12 or 11 month program if you do the boot camp program. Are you tracking, Mr. Harrison? I see you're probably doing some math there. Hopefully, don't everybody hold me to my math, but I think that's about right.
It sounds about right. That's kind of what I had in my head.
Yeah. I'm trying to give you some place for you to get structured. It's not military boot camp. I wish they call it something else. but that's what they call it. So, but that's about the best. At least it's got some regiment to it, because that's what you need. You need some regiment. All right, Mr. Stapleton, have I missed anything?
I don't think so, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Manicki, Mr. Harrison, you 2 copies of one document. You're going to place your initials on one. Doing so neither elects nor waives any rights. It merely acknowledges your receipt of the copy of the document. This document tells you that you have the right to appeal the conviction and sentence in your case. That is typically done by filing a claim of right to appeal. However, based upon the plea, any appeal is done by filing an application for leave to appeal. If you choose to file an application for leave to appeal and you want the court to appoint an attorney to assist you, you may complete the bottom half of that document and return to the court within 42 days. All right. Mr. Manicki, please pay attention. My objective today is to change the tone of voice for how anybody's ever talked to you about it. Maybe it's not, but at least it will be for me. And to get your attention and to give you an opportunity to help you, as Mr. Harrison said, fight for yourself. It'll probably take you a day or two to get to the prison. As soon as you can, start saying, I want boot camp. I want boot camp. Because Judge Elmore said he'll approve it, and I will. Immediately. In fact, we can put that in the order, can I? Boot camp. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see if it saves them from it sometimes.
If it's in the judgment, it gets.
Yeah, then just put in there, judge immediately approves boot camp. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Stephen. Once more, Mr. Carnes with a new fresh haircut today. Any, sir?
Nothing else. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Harrison, still looking like Colonel Sanders. Anything new, sir?
Nothing new.
Mr. Manicki, good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Good luck with it.
That's great.
I don't think Colonel Sanders is a fan.
No, I don't know. He's dead. He wasn't. He was a Kentucky colonel.
He was tiny.
Yeah, he was not really.
That's why
He's a thin little guy.
The suits in
Picture
him
yourself in
display
these-
cases.
he's
like
a little
handsome
guy.
size.
Is Stephen Pierce here? Okay, so this is a Rory. Who's the, how do you spell that? Okay, it got put in as A-R. So Avery Celeste Thomas versus Stephen Pierce, 2602432. Come on up, folks. I might have to have you sit down again when this other case is here. Comes back, I should say. Your name?
Stephen Pierce.
Your name, ma'am. And your name?
Robert Thomas.
This is the one that I asked you to bring in a witness, did I not?
Yes, sir.
Did you bring in the witness?
Yeah.
Yes.
Who was the witness? You can come on up here. He's from the auction, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to ask everybody to raise their right hands. How many people do I have from the auction?
Two.
Can you guys come on up here? You look like you're in a closet or something. Can you move over there? You can both move over there. Give yourself some room. Your name, sir?
Jonathan Stone.
And ma'am, your name? I kind of remember this one now, but you're going to have to remind me because it's been a couple of weeks at least. Yeah. So I have Avery Thomas, Stephen Pierce, and I'm sorry, sir, your name again?
Robert Thomas.
Robert Thomas. And I think everybody waived their rights last time. In other words, I covered everything with the two parties, with Avery, Thomas and Stephen Pierce about you waived your right to have the case removed. You waived your right to a trial by jury. You waived your right to hire a lawyer. Correct, Mr. Pierce?
Yeah.
Correct.
Specifically, me when you said that.
Well, if you're in the small claims division, I thought I went through this. Maybe I didn't.
No, it's okay. I don't need to go into it.
No, I want to. I want to. You don't have to. She sued you in the small claims division. You don't have to go to. If you want, you can tell me, Judge, I want to remove the case to the general civil division. You can hire a lawyer. You can appeal my decision if you don't want. You can demand a trial by jury. If you take the case to the general civil division. If you stay here, proceeding becomes much more relaxed. You can't appeal my decision, though. You can't hire a lawyer, and you can't have a trial by jury. Do you understand that? I can't hear you.
Yes.
Do you understand that?
Yes.
I think I covered that with you guys last time. Do you waive those rights, Ms. Thomas? Do you waive those rights and wish to proceed here, Mr. Pierce?
No.
You don't waive those rights?
No.
I think I covered this with you. I'm going to go listen to the tape. If you waive the rights and now these people are in here and you're telling me you don't waive the rights.
The whole thing's stacked against me. How are you going to have the same people that are trying to defend
Stop.
themselves?
You got your
against the
head. Get your finger right by Ms. Howard's face. That's too close. We don't do that in. You have to trust.
I don't trust none of you. I walked a car and there's a red light. That's as in.
Let's get something straight. Let's get something straight. You're not walking in here like some grump and going to start talking to me like that. Let's get it straight right now. It's not happening. You act like I'm on their side. I'm not on anybody's side. I'm trying to find out what happened. I'm trying to make sure that I find the truth. Give me more credit. I've been a lawyer for 42 years. I've been a judge for 32. Don't start getting all angry and upset and pointing your fingers in people's faces. I know what you're going to tell me. You're going to tell me that the testimony they're going to offer cannot be reliable because it's self-serving for Greater Detroit. Right? That's what you're going to tell me. I'm going to figure it out.
Okay.
But don't start acting like I'm part of their team. That's ridiculous. I'm not part of anybody's team. Got it? Yes?
Yeah.
Now, do you remember waiving your rights before?
Sure.
So you acknowledge that you waived your rights to go to the general civil division.
Sure.
Okay, just back off. Don't get angry. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Now, I want you to start over, though, and give me, to begin with, the testimony. What you said is you purchased a vehicle from defendant at an auction for $42,0810. You said defendant lied to, can you read that to me? Your small claims affidavit. Defendant lied to something pre-existing transmission issue.
Failed to share pre-existing.
Failed to share pre-existing transmission issues. Within less than 24 hours, the transmission failed and the vehicle became undrivable. Plaintiff suffered financial damages and loss of transportation to work and school. Greater Detroit Auto Auction, you wrote down 243. Is that 54 or 04?
54.
King Road. All right. You guys work for Greater Detroit, right? Okay, now listen. I can't have people just mm-hms or uh-hs or.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. You work for them as well, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, I think your defense was that they told you didn't have to disclose it. Was it not?
That's not my defense.
Okay, well, just don't get angry. Just don't get angry. I just got done telling you. I don't remember every single portion of the testimony from 2 weeks ago. Did you tell them that, and I'm talking about the auction,
do you remember when my daughter was standing right next to me and said that she walked into the auction house and when we sat to this, I don't even think this was a lady. And we said, hey, could you tell us the difference between the 3 lights? And they said, green light is this, yellow light is that, and red light, it could have engine or transmission problems. I said, well, it has something wrong with the transmission. The lady,
Sir.
we got to put it as a red light. You didn't listen to my daughter as a
Sir, you gotta calm down. Quit yelling.
John, I'll tell you what, you're gonna have a lot bigger problems if you don't
I
show.
don't care about it.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're gonna end up in the lockup in another 30 seconds. You are not gonna stand there and yell at me. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? I'm taking a 5-minute recess. I'd suggest you go splash some cold water on your face. And do not raise your voice with me again. Do we understand one another? Go splash some water on your face. Who do you think you are? Come on up here, everybody. Recalling Avery Celeste Thomas versus Stephen Pierce. Now, I want you to just stay under control, Mr. Pierce, okay? I just got done telling you I do not remember everything about the prior hearing. I don't. I remember, generally speaking, what happened. We're going to start over. Are you going to calm down?
Yes.
I don't need you yelling it. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good. Okay. I'm going to let you start. I've got everybody here. I have Ms. Thomas, Mr. Thomas. I also have Ms. Howard and Mr. Stone. All right. So you tell me again, you bring your car in, and I remember you talk about yellow, red, green. So talk to me. Go ahead and tell me. You're all under oath still.
So I bought a car from a dealership at an auction. And the car, after a couple days, was messed up. So I talked to my wife and I told her I don't feel comfortable. I could easily put it on Facebook and bet somebody in a parking lot and letting somebody get it like that. So I told her I would take it to an auction house. When I stepped in the auction house, me and my daughter, we asked the lady at the counter.
Who was it? Is she here?
I brought her last time. She's
No. The lady at the counter. Who was that? What was her
I
name?
don't know if it's her or not. I don't think so. Kim. She's not here.
Okay, go ahead.
I asked her. I said, "Could you tell me the difference between the lights?" Which, by the way, don't make a difference because I've read 11 different reviews in the past 6 months on this guy's site that are 1 star from a green car that quit the very.
I don't want you to go into that right now. I just want to explain the light
I'm just
situation.
saying, sir, it doesn't mean much if they're buying green cars that are quitting.
Sir,
what the difference is a red.
Just tell me what you were told.
So the lady told me a green car is something that their mechanic takes out for a test drive and declares that there's no mechanical issues. And then the yellow car, I forget what she said was for. And then she goes on to red car and she tells me a red car could have engine problems, could have transmission problems. And me and my daughter both at the same time go, yes, it's got something wrong with the transmission. And she goes, oh, okay. And then I asked her if there's anything she needed me to sign. She handed me a piece of paper, told me all I needed to do was sign at the bottom. And then the lady even said that she was the lady who sits at the desk at the computer when they do the auctions and whatever. Then after the car got bought, I got a call from her asking me if there was any problems with the car.
So you signed saying this was a what?
Red light.
Red light?
Yes.
Okay.
Then I got a call after I sold the car several days later.
Do you guys dispute that at all?
I can. I just was letting him speak.
Okay, no. I just want to make sure. Okay, go ahead.
I got a call from her.
The plaintiff.
Yes. And I told her, I'm sorry about your loss, but I sold it as a red light car for a reason. Then I got a call from him.
Her dad.
He was a police officer and this wasn't going to go my way.
Her dad.
Yes. Then I called up and talked to, I think, maybe him.
Mr. Stone.
And I told him that I talked to a lady in your guys' lobby who had told me what the difference between the three red lights were, and that we told her that it would be a red light because we told her it had transmission. She marked it as a red light. Then he gave me an excuse that, well, some cars that come across my board are red light, but they work. And I asked him what was that excuse, and he says, well, when a creditor takes a car from somebody, all the cars run as a red light. And I'm in my head, I'm thinking, okay, but a creditor takes a car from somebody, they don't want to take a chance at having it on the road, and then them selling it as a green light and it has a problem, so they mark them all as red. Because when it sells, they chase the person they took it from for the rest.
Okay,
So it
hold on.
doesn't-
Wait, just don't get excited.
All right, run it back.
Did he do this as a red car?
Yes, Your Honor, he did sell it as a red light car. This is his original contract here. And I highlighted this after he did not sign it with a highlighted. I just want to say that for the record. I didn't.
Okay, hand that up. You can hand it right to my recorder.
I only highlighted so that way when I called him, I could quickly refer to it.
Okay.
That is a consignment form for a public seller. It's basically stating that if there are known transmission issues, it must be announced.
If the vehicle is properly functioning transmission unless otherwise listed above in announced conditions. There's nothing else announced conditions. All it says is extra key in office.
That is because when I talked to the lady at the desk, she told me that she was the lady who auctions the cars off. She's there at every auction and that she would remember. And I asked her if there was anything I needed to sign. The whole reason I found out it was a red car is because I asked her, tell me the difference. And when I told her, and me and my daughter told her, it's transmission issues, which she heard, she says, okay, we got to mark it as a red car then. I said, is there anything else I need to sign? She said, it's just at the bottom right here. And I walked out. And even further on, the car blue book value was worth more than they bought it for. They should have just put a transmission in it and carried on their way. How are you going to buy a red light car and expect it to drive and work and function properly?
Okay. What else can you add, Mr. Stone?
So I had called Mr. Pierce, and I had said to him that the customer had an issue with transmission. And he said that he knew that, that's why he sold it through us. Otherwise, he could have just done it himself, which I would like to think that if he did sell it out of the marketplace himself, he would tell that person well. But it was more or less like he was put the burden on us. So typically when there's an issue with a vehicle like this, we do call the seller and see if they can provide some kind of assistance to help with the buyer in this case, and he was not willing to do so.
You paid $4208.10 for this, right?
Yes,
Where's the vehicle now?
I sold it through the same auction.
How much did you get?
1,609.
I have that big orders on.
I'm gonna also say, Your Honor.
Hold on. Did she sign a document like this?
She did, and we announced transmission issue.
Let me see.
So paper was this year.
Yeah. What else do you want to say while he's looking for that?
Yeah, so I bought the car for $7,500. The very next morning, I stuck $500 into it. A week later, I rolled it over to auction and lost $4,500.
I know, but you can't pass on your losses to somebody else.
I've already declared to their place. That's how it got listed as a red light. It's telling the lady it had transmission problems. Now it's just hearsay. You told them hearsay last time.
Listen.
But what he's saying is hearsay if he didn't bring the lady here that I talked to.
Was not subpoenaed to come later.
Please. You're getting way too angry. If one
Sir,
thing,
I've lost everything in the last 2 years. 3 vehicles.
Sir.
I've been outside in the truck with the blown window.
sir,
I got the truck. Sir. What kits does anybody here got?
Sure. Settle down.
It's hard when you do the right thing and you keep getting screwed over.
Mr. Pierce. Maybe you need to talk to somebody, okay? I mean, you are acting so childish right now. I can't even imagine. You came up here with piss and vigor from the very time that I called your case.
I shouldn't even be here right now.
Really? Okay. I'm glad you feel so confident about it. I want to know why did the broker fee agreement change from April 9th until June the 5th?
I'm sorry, that, what I gave you was a copy of, the bill of sale for her. I do not have the, her signed rules.
Well, did she sign a seller's consignment agreement / broker fee
Yes.
agreement? Where is it? Do you have it?
Okay.
Do you have that seller's consignment agreement?
No, I don't see it.
/ broker fee agreement? You have everybody execute one of these, right?
Yes.
All right, so let's find the copy that she signed. Somebody's got to find that for him.
Okay.
Call over to the office.
I left my phone in the car. I didn't know if I could bring it in, so.
You can go out there. I'll wait. Have them. Where am I going to have them send it, Jennifer?
They can email it to me, Your Honor, Jen at 33court.com.
Jen at 33court.com. Real easy. Jen, Jen at 33court.com. Not 33rd District. 33court.com. I'm going to keep going while he's calling. Ms. Howard, what part did you play in this?
I received a phone call from Avery that
When?
it was April April 17th.
The day that she bought it?
Left. No, that was
No, she bought it on the
16th.
Looks like the 11th.
Well, she paid for it though on the we give the customers a few days to
Okay,
get, so
okay.
she paid for it on the 16th, and then she had left with the car on the 17th. In I believe it was in the morning, she had called and said that the car wasn't running. She had drove that morning. She went to go somewhere and the car broke down, and as our policy, I told her that she would have to, take it in and get it diagnosed, which she did. And then I told her that there wasn't a lot we could do because the seller's already been paid. Sometimes in those situations, we can hold a check till they get a good diagnosis. But the timing was that happened. He picked up the check. So at this point, the only thing that you could do would be to call the seller. We give all the seller's information on all the paperwork that she signed. So she did call the seller. He then called back asking why did we give her his phone number. I did explain it is on all the paperwork, and that he just didn't want, that's why he brought it to the auction, because he didn't want any problems like that.
Because he didn't want any problems like what?
Because I could have took it and I could have sold it on Facebook and got all my money back.
How can you say that?
Because that's what people do. But
Well, one crook doesn't justify another.
I didn't crook anybody. I walked into the auction house and me and my daughter asked the lady to go through the 3 lights. When she said red light was either for an engine or transmission problems, we said it has transmission problems. The lady said, okay, I'm going to mark it as a red light.
So you got
and now I'm sitting here getting told that I'm trying to crook people. And you don't think this is one-sided?
Settle down.
Oh,
John, I got it. What I'm saying is you're telling me that you got essentially, that there was a fraud perpetrated on you when you bought it. And now you're saying you could have sold it on.
I bought the
Stop. And now you're saying you could have sold it on Facebook and gotten all your money back, which means you would have had to tell people there was no problem with the vehicle. So you're not exactly making yourself look good.
My daughter sat right here and told you, she walked through the door with me and told you that she listened to the lady explain the 3 lights to us. You didn't listen to that.
Don't tell me I didn't listen. You are really, 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 I don't know what to tell you. You're not a very nice man, okay? You really are acting like a child. I'd listen to every word. Do you think with the number of cases I hear that I remember every word that was stated to me 2 weeks ago? I said that right from the beginning. I don't remember everything. And now you're saying you didn't listen to her. What an accusation to level at somebody. I don't care if I was selling fries at McDonald's. What an accusation to level at somebody. I take this seriously. Stop with your personal attacks.
Can I say what the lights?
Sure.
The green light, when the customer wants it on a green light, that means that after our mechanic, after the customer puts their deposit down on the vehicle, and this is for a green light, our mechanic would take it for a test drive. We have things that are listed as arbitration. One of the biggest things are like a lower engine noise or transmission. So that's what the green light gives a customer. The red light vehicle, we don't sell, like, they're not, all red light vehicles aren't just a bad engine or a bad transmission. It's totally up to the sellers what they want to do. We have our banks are always just automatically a red light. Banks don't have, they haven't checked out the vehicles, things like that. So it's just automatic red light. We sell donation vehicles that are just automatic red light, just because of who the seller is. And then up to anybody else, it's up to them. The red light somebody might put a red light on it because it's over 100,000 miles, or it's just, it's up to the seller. They can do the red light. The yellow light means that so you could have 2 lights on. You could have the red and the yellow. The yellow is always an announced condition about the vehicle, so that could be something that we found from AutoCheck, something that the seller told us. So that would be the reason why the yellow light is on, and then we would have the red light. The red light, it's a red light, and there's a yellow light because of, let's say, the transmission. So it's not just that we run red light vehicles that are just bad engines or bad transmission.
It could be a variety of different reasons.
Right.
And yeah, I get it. Did you find it?
Yeah, they are scanning it and emailing it right now.
Perfect. Can you tell me without looking at it whether or not she signed the same document that Mr. Pierce signed?
I'm sure she did, but I have not seen it.
Well, if you're going to defend this on the basis, I'm just telling.
Well, it is all the same documents.
I'm just telling. If you're going to defend this on the basis that we didn't know there was an engine problem, and Mr. Pierce signs this, and you're going to highlight that portion that you've handed up, and I'll read it into the record, that the vehicle is properly functioning transmission unless otherwise listed above in announced conditions. I'm going to trust that when she signed this, that she crossed that out or somebody crossed that out, because at that point you guys knew that there was a bad transmission.
Yes.
So you can't just hide behind lawyer legalese here either and start with all these fancy words. You're going to indemnify us and hold us harmless. Well, that's all nice. But I don't care what's in writing. If somebody's perpetrating fraud, and I'm not saying you are. I'm not saying you are. I'm just going to point out to you and to this young lady that if her language that she signed is the same as his, you can't come in here and say he knew, and this is in paragraph 4, and or whatever it is, paragraph 5, that the vehicle is properly functioning transmission unless otherwise listed above in announced conditions. Now, if you included bad transmission on her document, That's gonna be fine, or she did. So I'm gonna wait that. I'm gonna get off the bench here. I'm gonna wait for that document and I'll check it out and then I'll come out, okay? I'm gonna ask you all to just be, thank you. You guys can go ahead. All right. Come on back up, everybody. I just want you to know she did, so I'm gonna read this. Everybody's in place. On number 5, and she signed that the vehicle has properly functioning transmission unless otherwise listed above in quotes announced conditions. End quotes. I want you to see this, Mr. Pierce. Come on up and just take a look. We're under announced conditions. Why don't you tell me what it says?
I'm not interested in looking at it because I've already told you, and my daughter told the lady it had transmission problems. The lady handed me the paperwork, the lady deals with the paperwork, the lady told me all I had to do was sign the bottom, and that's what we did. You didn't want to hear my daughter. You don't want to.
I'm not happy. I gotta tell you, top 3 most disrespectful that I've had in here in 32 years. Who do you think you are?
I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
I gotta tell you, you must do it naturally then. You're like a know-it-all. Give me that back. I'll read it to you. Announce conditions. It's a transition. Transition.
Yep.
So that she disclosed that. You didn't. All this says under announced conditions is extra key in office. And you already slipped up once or twice, at least twice. And I'm just trying to get to the bottom of this, even though you've been belligerent. You already announced twice that you weren't going to go on Facebook. You thought you could have gone on Facebook and got what you paid for it. What does that tell me? So yeah, I stand by my words. You were the victim of a fraud and you contemplated perpetrating a fraud on others to cover your bases. We know you said check. Well, you checked red light. Nobody said you didn't check red light. I don't think they ever said you didn't check red light.
I asked the lady if there was anything else I needed to do when I signed the papers. The lady said, just sign it at the bottom. Me and my daughter looked at that lady and she read the red light. And when she said red light, she said, well, red light could have engine problems or transmission problems. And my daughter said it before me. She says,
why don't you get this lady on Zoom? Is she working today?
Yes, sir.
Call her up. Get her on Zoom. You can call right from there. I'm telling you, you got to control yourself. I mean, I got to tell you, I haven't been this angry in a long time because I haven't had anybody be this disrespectful.
I need Kim on the phone, please.
What is it, John, again? 448?
415-2931.
Ask her to zoom in. 448.
Does she have the Zoom app on her phone?
Do you have Zoom on your phone? Yes, we're in court and
I would like to talk to you. You can either drive here
the judge would like to speak.
or you can zoom in.
Okay.
She need the ID?
Yeah. Yes.
We're right in the middle. We're in the courtroom now. Listen, I'm getting off the bench for 5 minutes. They're going to give you the Zoom ID number. You zoom in. We're going off the record. Everybody, all of you can have a seat, and you're going to tell her the Zoom ID.
I'm gonna give you the Zoom ID.
All right, stay seated, everybody.
Who's that?
Come on up, everybody. All right, we're back on record on Thomas versus Pierce. Ma'am, can you tell me your name, please?
My first name is Kimberly, Kimberlee. Last name is Amezcua, Amezcua.
Amezzua?
Correct. Amez as in zebra, Cua.
Cua. I wasn't sure. Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear affirm under penalties of perjury that the testimony you will give in these proceedings will be the whole truth, so help you God.
Yes,
You're employed at the Greater Detroit Auto Auction, correct?
correct.
What is your job title?
I am an office worker.
What are your duties?
I check in vehicles that come through, help with paperwork. Do RD-108.
Do you know this gentleman, Mr. Stephen Pierce?
He had dropped off a vehicle to sell at the auction.
Do you remember your conversation with him?
I do. He dropped off a vehicle to sell, a Ford Fusion.
Okay. And what was the content of your conversation with him?
So he had brought in a vehicle to sell. I had asked him if he wanted to sell the vehicle red light, green light. Green light means that the vehicle is in working order. Trans and engine are good. Red light being sold as is. He said he wanted to sell the vehicle green light, that the vehicle was in working order, that there was no mechanical issues, there was no trans issues, and he wanted close to $6,000.
Okay. And ultimately, though, on the agreement, he checked the red light box, correct? Or somebody did?
I did, because he wanted to sell it red light.
I thought you initially said he wanted to sell it green light.
Well, correct. And then he said he wanted to sell it as is.
So what caused you to check? That's your printing, if you will, on the vehicle description, color, VIN number, sale date, and title number, correct?
Correct.
What caused you then to check the red light box as opposed to the green light box?
Because he said he wanted to sell it as is.
Okay. But he'd already told you that he had some transmission problems, correct?
He never said that it had transmission issues.
Never said that at all.
Transmission issues was never brought up when he brought in the vehicle. He said he had put some work into the vehicle, but he had never said that it had transmission issues.
Okay.
If he had mentioned transmission issues, I would have to write that down. Prior to me working in the office, I have worked in the yard for 4 years. Anytime there is a vehicle issue such as trans, mechanical, a bad engine, we have to announce that per our auction rules.
Do you have any questions of her, Mr. Pierce? I'm gonna let you ask her questions. Yeah.
Ma'am, do you remember if I was with anybody?
I believe you were with a female. I don't know her relation to you.
My daughter? Ma'am, do you remember me asking you if you can explain the 3 lights to me?
Yep, a red, a green, and a yellow.
You remember when you said red, you said it could have engine problems or transmission problems, at which my daughter said, yeah, it's got transmission problems. I said, yeah, we don't know what's wrong with the transmission.
Trans was never mentioned. I have a very good memory. A very good memory.
Do you have any other questions?
No.
You sure?
Why, if they're just going to deny it?
Sir, I'm not quarreling with you.
I walked in with my...
Sir, I'm not quarreling. I just want to know if you have any other questions for her. Do you have any questions for Ms. Amezcua?
No.
Do you, sir? You said liar?
They're lying.
Okay.
My daughter's right next to me and heard the lady say, okay, then we're going to have to mark it as a red light. After we told her it had transmission problems. The whole reason we asked her to tell us about the 3 issues is so we could justify it under the right light. And she can remember that I asked her, but she ain't gonna throw her company under the bus, is she?
Let me ask you a question. You said you received how much for the vehicle?
When I sold it,
Yes,
1,609.
1609,
1,690.
90 or 9?
90. 1690.
Okay. And you paid 4208, 10. What, how can you sue him for 6,000?
That was before I sold the vehicle.
And also, she had a receipt when the day the vehicle went down, she was able to pull into next to a service station. And, her grandfather came up there and, they had tried to, flush the transmission, paid $250 at the service station, trying to, figure out if that would help the vehicle that day. So they have receipts for that and just.
The point is, you don't have any other out of pocket. The only thing.
Just the $250 does not add into that.
And I only got 30
Slow down.
from the auction house.
And the 250 was for what?
To flush the transmission on the vehicle.
And who was that bill from?
Lowell Lane. Have that.
Is there anything you want to say?
Elmore, is there a say?
No.
No, sir.
Giving you every benefit of the doubt. Tried to bring in, I made them bring in this witness. I made them bring in these other witnesses. This young lady here, this Kimberly of Mescla, seems very, very, very credible to me. On the new consignment agreement that this young lady, Ms. Thomas, signed, it clearly spells out transition. I don't believe that you ever told her, and I know you're going to disagree. I'm just telling you why I'm holding like I don't believe you ever told her that you had a transition. I believe from her testimony for sure that she would have told you to note that on the seller's consignment agreement, which is why I wanted to see Ms. Thomas. I don't know why you're blaming everybody else, but that's neither here nor there. The plaintiff asked for 6,000. The plaintiff for 420810. 1690 was the amount that she got. So there was a differential of 251810 plus the 250 for 276810. And she is entitled to her court costs. What did you have in terms of court costs? I see on here an $80 filing fee. Did you have any other out-of-pocket expenses?
Yes, for the subpoenas.
I'm sorry?
For
Well, tell me what they were. I need somebody to tell me. You need to tell me, young lady. It's really you.
75.
So $75 for subpoena, what? Process of service fees?
Yes.
Service of process fees, I should say. So you have 80 plus 75 for 155.
Your Honor, did you get those service fees? I'm sorry. I'm showing 3625 is what Dino filed.
Well, she said $75 in subpoena fees. Is that accurate or incorrect? That's what I meant for service of process fees.
Let me look at the actual subpoenas. I'm showing 3625 on them, which would be $72.50.
Got $88 in a filing fee.
Correct.
$88 in a filing fee.
And the
What else?
subpoenas were each $36.25, so $72.50 in service fees of the subpoenas.
Is there anything else? That she has, just those two,
Just those two subpoenas and the initial filing fee is the only things I'm showing.
so according to my total, it's $2,928.60. That is the amount of judgment.
You're telling me I got 3,200 from them for selling my car, lost 4,500 when I bought my car, and now I gotta pay them 2,900? Yeah.
I'm sorry you got defrauded. I really am.
A lot of sorries.
Listen to me, Mr. Pierce. You sound like a very angry man.
Because I know that lady's lying.
I know she's not. I've been doing this. I know she's not.
Because I'm a crook, right? That's what you just labeled me.
There are days. I'm not going to argue with you, sir. I'm so convinced I'm right on this. That's it. That's the judgment amount. You need to figure out how you're going to pay them. How are you going to pay them?
I don't know. Because I was in a crash 15 months ago. I've lost the 2019 Ford Ranger. I lost the 2024 Harley Davidson. And I got a truck out there with a blown window. Doesn't have AC in it. And I tried to do the right thing here. And I'm getting screwed over.
Do you work?
I can't work right now, sir. I'm physically unable to work. I broke 5 bones below my waist. My wife had to roll me on the side of a bucket. The same company that you're trying to defend has 10 different 1-stars for green lights. Green lights, if they quit within 24 hours, they're supposed to give their money back. They got 10 people complaining they ain't got a dime from them for green lights. They quit the next day.
I am not defending anybody. I'm sorry you disagree. I really am. I'm sorry you're going through that. I really am. Maybe that explains why you're so angry, but I did the right thing here, as I do every day. Good luck. You guys are going to have to check into how you're going to collect on this, okay? So specifically you, Miss Thomas. Good luck to everybody.
And Mr. Blue Shirt was out the door before the judge could even get the last of his words out of his mouth. Guy, you gotta calm down. Jeez. Holy Christ. Wow. I watched that one earlier today with the legendary Courtroom Files when he was live. And I was there live with him, and man, we could not believe what we were seeing. I actually thought about you, OSG. I thought about you when I was watching it. I was like, man, OSG would be right on top of this. But here we are. At the end of the day, I've given you my presentation. OSG was here to watch it with us. That was fun. And I'm sure when OSG gets back in full form, if he wants that one for a little video for his own, all he's got to do is knock on my door. We'll be right here waiting for it. Wow, that was crazy. I don't think I've ever seen Judge McNally that mad. Holy crap. Well, while I'm trying to get myself back together after that crazy thing, keep in mind, like Mama says over here, we do this every single night, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, where I put these little compilations, court cases together from that all happened today. Everything you just watched happened today. So tomorrow, we'll do tomorrow, and the next day. I never know what it's going to be until it happens. Now, we have a holiday coming up. And some courts may not be showing anything on Friday, so I'm not quite sure what we're going to be doing Friday or Saturday, but we'll figure it out the closer we get there. For now, ladies and gentlemen, let's say thank you to some people, shall we? Most specifically, I got a whole list of you over here. Most specifically, I want to get started with Wendy Greek, who sent $2 in like before the show even got started. Thank you so much for that. That's crazy. Lokias 333 says, just a drop for the pot. Appreciate the time and talent put into the videos for our viewing pleasure. Oh man, it is my pleasure. It is always my pleasure. I'm trying to get to where I read these super chats now. Kiernoff says, why don't you get a job by The Offspring? Good song. I highly approve. Alan Zeisler says, wrong judge to be uppity with. That was in reference to Judge Webster, and you got it right. And Legal Fiction sent $9.99 just because, and Legal Fiction, you were awesome just because. And a ton of you have been sending these amazing jewels and pop-up coins and I don't even know how to describe them. Thank you all for all that stuff. The Offspring albums were fairly solid. What were you saying, OSG? Man, we had some weird ones tonight, didn't we? That PPO at the beginning. Look at the little one down there. He's laying down. Ladies and gentlemen, I got puppies over here looking at me saying, we need to go outside. And I need to say goodbye. Good night. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your lone wolf Usel. And I am out. God, did I clear my throat before the mic was muted again? Hold on. I'm scrolling up. I saw people talking to me. Mad and disappointed from Judge Dad. Wow. Man. Wait. Why? I was supposed to turn this off, wasn't I? OSG, we miss you. We're not going. We don't expect to miss you for too long. I expect you to get back and annoy us. All like, not really annoy. Annoys the wrong word, right? No, I'm the one who really annoys people. I expect you to get back in working order to be annoyed by me judiciously, right? No, that didn't sound right either. Oh, guys, just leave. I look. Those poor doggies is right. Those poor doggies. Look, she's just sitting here looking at me. She's staring. One of her ears is like cocked off to the side. Like, will you stop talking to the screen, you big stupid man? Yeah. That's how it is. All right. There we go. I finally got the wolf head to start reacting to my movements again. It was driving me crazy. All right. We're done. Huh. Don't tell them how badly the dogs are spoiled. It's a secret.